Okay, now, I have known, since I started coming to open mics, Ghost Town Poetry. And they're probably one of the longest running open mics in Vancouver. And what amazes me is that the whole family is talented. I mean, that's saying something. It really runs deep. I've had each one of them as an individual guest before at my open mics, featured readers. Now I decided I'd have, for something completely different in December of 2015, all three of them together as a family, sharing each other's poetry. So let's all hear it for Chris Luna, Angelo Luna, and Toni Luna.
All right. Woo!
Hi.
You're so quiet. Hello back there.
You gotta bring the goods, man.
Oh,
No
pressure's on, huh?
Yeah.
We're waiting with breathless anticipation.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, wait. That is it.
We're bated breath.
We should do this separate for you and then me.
Oh,
Make
no,
sure it's the right height.
that's good for me. That's fine. Yeah. So who's,
We should switch this around.
Switch this
Switch
around,
around,
yeah.
because that's the order.
we need to switch.
So,
Yep. I'm doing it.
um,
All right.
So you should introduce this first one.
Okay.
It's yours.
Hey y'all, this is exciting. We've never done anything, the three of us together, and we're very excited, and we've been working on it, and this is cool. So we hope it's as fun for all of you as it has been for us. The first poem is something that I wrote as a 3-voice poem a while back, based on a documentary that I watched on the monks living in Grand Chartreuse Monastery, and the fact that they lived in silence, and they did not speak to each other. They each had chores to do, had jobs to do, and one of the most fascinating things about the documentary and watching the monks was that they had dialogue with the cats. They talked to the cats, they communicated, they felt that the cats had talked back to them as well, that they had this relationship with the cats, and they also had relationships with one another. They didn't speak to the other humans. And I thought that was absolutely fascinating, because I can't imagine, we're all three highly verbal, even when it's really like, be quiet for a while, like we should. I can't imagine not speaking, but I think it was a most glorious thing for me to watch. So if you have a chance, they are the monks of Grand Chartreuse Monastery, and you could look it up. It came on Netflix. So,
we're gonna move this to the notes.
we're in the middle, and I'm going to put my book down.
Did they speak in meows to the cats, or was it actual?
They talked, like, come here, here's your food, they were verbal with the cats, which was just, for me, pretty cool.
But they broke their vow of silence.
They did, with the cats,
Yeah.
only with the cats. That was what was interesting.
The cats and the man.
Okay, I'm gonna do the bell, and I'll be ready. Behold the silence. Some say impossible for those with language.
Human noise, a retort.
Like shrieks from a pinprick, or
A pinch of skin between fat fingers.
holy bells.
Call monks and wayfarers.
Join under dim bulbs.
Unify voices.
All single instruments.
Exultate. Shooting stars drift over holy snow. Domine. Anyone who does not give up all he has cannot be silent.
Blind fingers turn beads.
Round, round,
Measure distance between sin
and salvation. Savior of grace,
Monastic.
pure,
Former trappings unclean.
forbidden,
Momentary, the truth
is salt,
of cold, dark brains, solitary and still.
Hallways echo rustling robes and shuffling leather soles.
on centuries of worn wood,
Tunnels shaped like loaves of bread crusted with keyholes.
Thick and rusty.
Doors slammed through the night.
lock out the lonely sound of heartbeats.
All clocks stopped in 1945.
They never speak to each other. They taste words.
Bitter and destined to be swallowed. Domine. Anyone who does not give up all he has cannot be silent.
Today's work is 100 years of monks.
A few pieces left to polish before they sleep.
Remember, speak only to the cats who wait for curdled milk after supper.
Try not to think too hard.
All wheels squeak after misuse.
Muslin and shapeless wool.
Will not secure this eternal vow.
Silence, no easy practice for humans.
Domine. Anyone who does not give up all he has cannot be silent. Open windows, breathe.
Let go the scream.
That waits just inside the soul. The one that tells the world, you are alive. Okay, so we're going to take turns, and we are going to make sure to remember to announce whose poem we're reading each time as well, so it won't get too confusing for you. So we're just going to get rid of that too,
Okay.
to make things easier. So we're starting with poems that I wrote, and this is a poem that I wrote for Angelo. It's called Aim Right for Their Third Eye. Yes, I know that it happens. I get that it's possible, but how often is one present at the exact moment that their offspring first has their consciousness cracked open, heart burst by truly grokking a great work of art. After initially complaining about its lameness, Angelo stared into the Mona Lisa's left eye until the tectonic plates shifted. Stars exploded, and he was blasted through the doors of perception and into the light of a more interesting future. A psychedelic freak show, a cosmic love fest, the eternal be-in. Once you've opened those doors, you need never do so again.
All right, this one, I was looking through his computer for a poem to find, and this is version 5. The title changed 3 times, and the final title is I Burn Dandelions. The prostitution planets are aligning. It's entirely a happy convergence. Circumstance leads kids into the tall grass, from which he must extricate his bicycle. Hoping no one was looking. Fate's the great arranger none are the master of. Because I am a monkey and I must have bananas. Need a moment? Take one. Pile them high. Nature doesn't give a fuck, man. Memory slipping as God. Grass covers all, not lotion. Lotioning. I think I've discovered innocence. It's over there. We should check it out. What did you hear? Transcendence of material fact into a realm of luminous deliverance. A very puzzling place. If you're willing to be puzzled, you can learn. I'm gonna have to work on that if I'm gonna trot these pieces out. Leave a trail of bodies to lead us out of the maze and into the sunlight again.
The Poison Art by Chris Luna. Whispering eyelashes flutter against the night. Skull emerges to subsume hummingbird mid-flight. Enormous black canvas, empty of passion, devoid of life, poison, sphincter of demonic light. Nuns form a circle around the spirit of the cat in the humidifier, poised to leap down your sleeping throat. and snatch your breath away as you dream. You are not ready, not ready, not ready to hear the hornets in your petals, the fear in the knot tied in your familial memory, preventing string theory from taking its proper place. Assuming the crown, flipping the script, executing the layup without hesitation, tendrils spiral round the throat, penetrate eyes, nostrils, mouth, wind roars round until vortex becomes home. Party's over. No time to say goodbye, dead thoughts arise, spread virally, snap synapses like twigs. The strands shut you down, the cloud will not abate past transgressions gallop by, holding torches aloft, cackling lullabies. Stand in the pond, naked, exposed, fraudulent, skipping toward collapse, laughing as the mask falls away, as your family turns away, and you are left alone in the corner of a cement sepulcher. Sorry. Shivering, babbling, battering your skull against the honeycomb concrete in a futile attempt to identify the wormhole in the graffiti. Reverse time and begin anew.
Okay, so some of you may not know this about me, but I started with horror. I mean, the reason that I wanted to be a writer was because of Stephen King. That was the first writer who really inspired me. So looking through Angelo's poems, this was the one that appealed to me because of that interest that continues in horror stories, and it's called Golem by Angelo. The marble colossus advances toward the brick wall of your mind. The formation of rubble, metal, and a human soul. It all fits together somehow, perfectly, within the cold body that moves with the life of a god. The cracks between the stone do not reveal the true strength of the mighty warrior. Its first punch with a debilitating fist smashes its way through your psyche, piece by piece. The cognitive bricks built from years of learning, horrifically destroyed, one at a time. All humans strive to gain knowledge and to pass it on. This monster's purpose is to take it. Bow down to the might of the golem as it stands before the depths of your soul, your love, your passion. All life is stripped away in his presence, leaving a shivering, soulless form in its place. This man without an identity or a face, built from clay, triumphant, no matter how hard you fight back. The will of one man versus the strength of a giant.
All right. This is called Psychics Can See the Color of Time. It's blue. The line is there. We can see it. The line is the color of an aqueous stone from the deepest temple rock. It bends, twists, and turns. Nothing ever stays the same. Like energy and matter, time is ever changing like the human soul. Never destroyed, never created, always there, just changing. A single mind split into 7 billion pieces, all together for the grand show, the finale, if you will. We are all combined, connected by the collective eye of the universe, watching over all, overseeing these connections. Nothing can break these links, but the line is weakening. Time is fading, starting again. Get ready for a new universe.
This is called The Reaper by Angelo Luna. The one who follows you, the one who stalks you, the one who watches you while dreaming. He who comes when the inevitable passing of a soul happens, there to reap all it has sown. This man is inhuman, unnatural, and immortal, but he exists nonetheless. The dogs of hell are repelled by his presence. As he sits on his throne of darkness, scythe in hand, uttering the simple but terror-inducing words, "All who arrive in the kingdom must leave eventually. This one is mine. Away, beasts." In a way, he has saved you. The blissful end, the release of worries. Life is a fleeting image, and you are the picture frame. The thorns of the underworld stab and wound lives before they are ready to leave. Everything works from the inside out. Destruction is just a way of looking at things, and all you have to do is change your perspective.
So it's pretty great living with and loving another poet. You know, Toni and I are pretty different in our approach to writing. Our writing is pretty different. I was trying to think of how to describe that to all of you. I guess I'm sometimes more indirect. I'm really interested in surrealist and abstract use of language. Toni's very much like if I was abstract painting, she would be figurative painting. It's more about social commentary and very stories that are very grounded in real life. And I'm mentioning all this because I just want you to know that even though we have these different approaches, I have a deep respect for what she does and for anyone who does that well, even if that's not what I'm trying to do most of the time. So this is a really great example of how well Toni does that. It's called Back from Sicily by Toni. Told everyone in the bar he'd left his wife behind. Says, if I marry again, it's going to be the one who can't talk. Gets laughs from the old timers. He's thinking with his little man. Can't believe these American women deliver opinions like volcano lava, never shut up. Didn't imagine companionship would be costly. Says, Italian women are warm and have brothers. It's okay until someone loses a testicle. Remember Cousin Gino and the old songs? The chorus sits on stools, sings conventional wisdom. Still, dinners are lonely, one plate and a single fork. Nothing like the old days when they danced all night without shoes. Carried her to the car, lit 2 Chesterfields for the drive home. She signaled readiness with Frank Sinatra records, led him to their bed. He'd kiss her tiny hands and they'd rock for hours. Went on like this for years. She gave him a son, 2 daughters, a tidy home, hot meals, laughter. He worked hard, faithful and true, not like his brothers. He had a queen, everyone knew. Then the middle years, and the doctors, and the death sentence, and months blurred. Promised he'd take her home to Sicily, to the hills, outside the village, leave her there, say goodbye. Tonight he calls their oldest, says, things change. They stop making Chesterfields, and the place on the corner sells tacos. What would your mother think? They both sit in silence, miles apart, focused on a single memory of her.
So this one, she's read it multiple times at many different readings, and it's always been my favorite of hers. I didn't know the title of it, but she gave me her binder, and it was the first one in there. I'm like, I want this one. And she asked if I wanted to see any more, and I'm like, nope, I want this one. So it's called Driven by Hope. At one time or another, he had a family, a parent, a brother, phone numbers written in ink on the palm of his hand. Thanks strangers for spare change to make the call. Can I come home, Mom, just for tonight? Someone stole my stuff when I got popped. It's cold out. The family's been here before. It never goes well. Their hope is habit forming. He looks like hell, smells foul, wants a smoke, coughs the 10-mile markers home, yells coffee when he enters the house. Mom's cooked a grilled cheese sandwich, trimmed crusts timed perfectly crisp and brown. He slumps on his saved seat. She takes the cup with D-A-V-I-D, painted on the side in red block letters. Pours it full, adds 4 sugars to half and half. Won't look in her eyes, knows she's been crying. Soon she'll ask when he last slept. He will lie. She will believe anything he says. Her hope is habit forming. Won't eat the sandwich, can't eat anything. His stomach burns all the time. She's made up his bed, offered towels, vitamins. He spends an hour in the bathroom, lets the shower run while he sits on the floor smoking. Imagines how water stings when it touches his body. Goes to his room when the house is quiet. Sheets smell like Downy in her hair. She's cried here. Soon she'll peek in, make sure he's in bed, blows a kiss on sweet breath from the doorway. Waits another half hour, moves to the couch, then to the floor. Hasn't been able to sleep on anything soft in years. At 4, takes his brother's new parka from the closet, pockets the jar of change from the hall table, steals a check from her purse and writes, "I really can't be here. I love you. I'll call." He's out the front door and into the darkness. Mother watches from upstairs, glad tonight that her room faces the street. This is the moment she fears could be the last time. Has this morbid thought each time he goes. He crosses the lawn, moves out from beneath the street light, slips behind the neighbor's lilac tree. Sees her in the window. This could be the last time. Thinks this morbid thought whenever he leaves. Wonders why hope is habit forming. Wonders what happened to him. Wants to hope for something else. Hopes she'll be able to sleep. Hope she'll be able to sleep.
I have to hug you too, excuse me.
It got to me. I'm used to the one reading it and hearing it. It got to me. I'm going to read one called Shades of Blue, and it was written after I was invited and observed a religious ceremony, and I was really struck by it. In many emotions, many things came up for me during watching this ceremony occur. Shades of Blue. Pure white cotton jumpsuit and bare feet. Her day in the pool, dunked by her uncle after prayers of holiness sent by Martians to deliver the word. Silver mirrors angled over clear water. Square tiles of cerulean, cobalt, and azure allow the audience to witness glory. Wet, stunned, saved. Accordion doors close, elders shield her innocence, impinged as wet cotton clings to new breast buds. Just 9 years old, older after cleansing. She enters the sanctuary in white polka dot dress, hem of bridal blue mesh, opaque tights, glossy braids. We're told she's planned the program, picked speakers and songs, invited family, faraway friends who absorb the message, robotic and terse, obey, marry, produce enough offspring. Did we mention obey? Is she confused by ritual when 7 men hold each other's shoulders in a closed circle around her chair? Their hands touch her head. Words welcome her into the fold. Indoctrination festers, swells the room, sticks in her throat. What will she think when down the line a man puts his hand on her head, says, obey? Attendees are asked to write a message. She will read sometime later that day. Mine says, believe in yourself. Dream. You can't go wrong when you follow your heart in all matters, large and small. It is trite. I want to say, don't be obedient. You can lose yourself. I was 9 once, and nobody told me either. Because silence is the great intoxicant, seduces you while it burns a gaping hole in your throat.
We're going to end with another piece that we wrote together. This was basically a pass-around poem.
We wrote it for tonight.
And we wrote it, yeah, we wrote this piece for tonight's reading. We're trying to
Occasional poem.
Yes.
It's, yes, also an occasional poem. We're good on our poetry terms tonight. We could make a little book together here tonight, I think.
Everybody write an example.
A concrete poem, yeah. So the poem about a tree that looks like a tree is a concrete poem, and there will be a quiz after. Okay, and
And
so...
you know when the first concrete poem was written?
I don't, but please tell us, Robin.
It was like 1655.
That's
I read that in
awesome.
the New
I did
Yorker.
not know that.
Really? Yay!
What shape was the first one?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
They just said that it, you know, it was kind of like there's nothing new under the sun. Somebody has come
That's
out
true.
with a new poetry form, and this guy's saying, hey, buddy, that was invented in 1700, you
Yeah.
know? And then he said, oh, and by the way, the first concrete poem was in like 1655 or
Yeah.
something.
Wow.
Yeah, it's one of the beautiful things about poetry, too, is people take things that already existed and kind of put their own spin on it, and they can call it whatever they want. And yeah, it's okay. It works out all right. So Angelo's going to introduce this because he came up with the title and the first line, so he's going to start us off.
You were the first line.
Oh, shit, I guess it was me. All right. He came up with the title, and then I wrote the first one. Okay.
All right, well, the title / theme of the poem is It's a Ghost Town in Your Mind.
Where did everyone go?
Lost in separate individual worlds of doubt and regret.
Roaming forts, parking lots, strip malls.
Tumbling tumbleweed, tumble toward us.
A witness to the vagabond explorer of this ghost town.
Thorns and bad attitudes. 7-Eleven escapes.
The streets are empty, way too quiet.
Quiet, but heavy with the sound of defeat.
Like the invisible man with glow sticks.
Last to regain consciousness after the ritual.
Only to find his friends have left him.
With the check, at the mall, in the car.
Time to step forward into an uncertain future.
Awaiting one of a million impossible outcomes.
Travel, my friend. East, then north, south, then west.
Helps to know that Mill Plane and Fourth Plane run parallel.
When traversing this treacherous town.
On your way to somewhere, anywhere, there.
Are tweakers and juggalos round every corner.
Pimps and jacked up athletes alike.
All from the suburbs. Cul-de-sac nirvana.
All gathered at the edge of the mind's creek.
Bathing in the shallow waters, gently seduced by the luminescent glow of the water nymphs.
Those nymphs from Highway 99 on their way to Walmart and the preschool.
Shambling zombies of the global warming apocalypse.
Rabbling Republicans shout, "You're not real," as their brains are devoured.
And all you can do is stop at Starbucks for a skinny mocha frappuccino while you wait at the curb for Uber.
I'd just like to say thank you to Joyce for inviting us
Yes,
to do this.
thank
It was
you,
really
Joyce.
fun.
Thanks everyone for coming.